Hey, this is Lacey with ClusterCraft. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Uh, Mostly just going to be doing a little bit of cleanup and building around my new base area. Some of the stuff that I don't always end up showing on my videos, mostly because, well, I'm not very good with replay yet. I'm still learning. Um, but yeah, so I ended up getting together with AK and Tinker from the ClusterCraft crew. I will leave their contact info in the doobly doo below. And anyway, just sit back, relax, and enjoy us chattering. Okay, bye. Well, not bye, but yeah, that thing. Okay. The Axquaddles
What?
play dead mechanic.
Oh, I don't think I've seen it.
Oh yeah, it's something that they'll do. They've shown it on a couple things and stuff. Basically, it's if they get attacked and they lose enough health, they'll basically go and just do this little belly
Oh
up
right.
thing and play dead, and then
Oh
they'll
yeah.
regenerate and then turn back around and go. "Ah." They're freaking adorable. So that is a good question. I was thinking of is just the um for the update of Minecraft. What features currently are some of your favorites?
For the coming updates,
Yeah.
um, I mean, just mainly the mine, I guess. Like that they're gonna like redo everything and just make the caves more interesting.
Yeah.
I'm very curious about the glow squid
Yes. Did you
because
vote for the
I
glow squid?
I did not.
You did not? Eh.
I did not. I was hoping for the isolager.
Yeah, there were quite a few
Like
people
some
hoping for that one.
the thing is like so we got the glow squid, right? So I'm curious what its purpose is now. Like what are
Uh-huh.
they gonna do for is it's just gonna like I'm gonna be really annoyed and I wonder if a lot of people are as well if it's just there. Like it's just a mob. Like it
Uh-huh.
doesn't do anything, you know? But if it has a purpose, then I'd be fine with it. Like as
Yeah.
long as it actually does something, it just doesn't it's not like it's not like a squid. Like squids give ink, but that's about it. Like they don't like if it doesn't even drop it, if it just drops more ink, then it doesn't really have a purpose, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Like we already had like an aquatics update,
Yeah.
so like I don't really see any need for any other mobs unless this has like a special ability or something.
Uh-huh.
Like maybe we get like some new potion effect because it was talking about like how it was like hypnotizing.
Yeah.
So maybe we get something from that. I don't know.
I mean, I know I'm really curious about them when they come out as well, whether they'll have an effect of some sort. Um I mean, I know what I'm hoping for is that they might give us something that would be like maybe glowy ink, that can add like a glow effect, which I think could be cool if we could add like basically a sparkly glow effect to like signs.
Uh huh.
I think that would be really cool. Because it could also make them more noticeable. Like if you put a sign down underground, and even if it doesn't actually light anything up, if it gives like off a little glow,
A glow effect.
yeah, could make it something that
Like
could
a
draw
glow
attention.
tint.
Yeah,
Like the Enderman eyes.
yeah, and
Yeah,
it could
that'd
just
be cool.
yeah, because then it would just be something you can use to help attract attention.
Hmm. Yeah, that'd be cool.
So, if you were to get a chance to add any effect, any something to an update, anything you want, what would you want particularly?
What would I want? I'm trying to think. What if I ever? Ooh, that's a that's an interesting question. Um, Shoot. I really thought I'd have something for this. I mean, I feel like I've definitely watched like a lot of like, I guess like concept or like theory things,
Uh-huh.
like for like different updates that people want to be added and stuff.
Yeah.
I definitely, I mean, I remember seeing there was this, like, I think there was like an enchantment for like hose that you could put on. So they
Uh-huh.
would like replant or like harvest in a certain area. And I thought
Yeah.
that was really cool. I'm really drawing a blank. I thought I would have something. Um, hmm.
Well, I mean, I know what I would go for, and it's something I've been like basically petitioning on the forums and stuff for years. Um, is basically a full-on revamping of specifically the food crafting system.
Ooh.
Basically rebalancing it so that foods have a more varied and practical use. What you can
Mm-hmm.
carry, how much you can carry of things. Allowing foods to like stack a little better or maybe have better
Huh.
effects. But also just varying out like what we can make as
Mm-hmm.
well. Just because we got all these ingredients, and I'm not talking about like adding more
Mm-hmm.
ingredients, but just using what we have, you know,
Right.
because it's like just off the top of my head, with milk, eggs, and sugar, I can make like 4 or 5 different things.
Mm-hmm.
I can make pudding. I can make, just I can make, like puddings and custards as well as um other sort of recipes, like shoot, my brain blanks now. But there's just a lot you can do with just simple
Mm-hmm.
ingredients, and they're really missing out in the fact that what they have available is so limiting.
Uh-huh. No, yeah, yeah.
It's
That
like
that
hell,
that
even
would
just
be
on
nice.
stews.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we got beets, and what can you do with them? Well, you could feed it to
Yeah.
pigs.
Like
But
yeah, beets have like one use. Like you can make beetroot soup, but that's it.
yeah, and the beetroot stew doesn't even really do much. It's just another stew that takes up inventory space.
Right.
So most people don't really make it. They're not really interested in it. The only people who might make one and eat it are like for achievement hunters.
Like I've never like I realize now I like rarely ever farm beets
Yeah,
just
I
because they
mean,
just don't have a lot of use. Like maybe if we could use them for like a dye or something, but even
yeah,
then,
yeah. Beets. It's like in real life, the things you can do with beets. You can use them as a dye. You can use them in a variety of recipes. Beets are actually one of the highest concentrated forms of sugar. You can actually
oh,
make sugar from beets in real life.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah. There's a lot of things you can do with the stuff, and they just don't really do any of it. And it's just like, there's just it feels like such a missed opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we only have one recipe that uses any form of meat in it, and that's like the rabbit
Which
stew.
one is that? Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
And yet, what
Everything else is
about,
just served on its own.
yeah, it's like you got like mushroom stew, rabbit stew, and that's about it.
I realize there are quite a few. I mean, there's not a lot, but there's a couple craftable foods, but people don't really use them. It's usually just their raw materials because they yield more hunger.
Yeah, for the saturation stuff. It's like
Mm-hmm.
everybody either goes with like say, um, they'll it's like because I know just from on being on the Symmetria server, I ran a little place called the Snack. I run a little place called the Snack Shack that where I'll sell variety of foods, and
Ooh.
really the only things I sell is stacks of cooked beef and stacks of golden carrots. Those are the only things that really
Um,
sell. I got other stuff there, and it very seldom sells.
right.
Everyone just buys carrots and and beef. That's it. Because those are the things that, yeah, the steak, and because it's just again, yeah, occasionally other stuff sells, but it's like very occasionally. And it just seems like such a waste because we got all this great stuff, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
um I mean, hell, cookies. Again, we could do sugar cookies.
Mm-hmm.
We could have, yeah, we could have chocolate cake by putting the carrot cake by just changing out one thing with the cake recipe instead of like maybe three things of wheat, maybe having two of wheat and one of something else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we could have like carrot cake or chocolate cake or because even with like the cacao, again, that's another thing, like the beets,
chocolate milk.
Yeah, like the beets that
Chocolate.
has that has limited uses. You can either turn it into cookies or turn it into dye.
How about frying an egg?
Yeah, doing a fried egg. Just take an egg and prepare it.
But you can actually just eat the eggs as opposed to the only thing they're good for is making more chickens or making cake or making pie. You can make pie.
Yeah.
Speaking of the pies, make a berry pie. We've got sweet berries. Make a berry pie.
Yeah, I know. When they added sweet berries, I was figuring, oh yeah, we're gonna get like maybe berry pies. No. The only thing you can do with sweet berries is you can eat them or plant them.
And again, chocolate pie. That's another fine choice. Chicken pie. Chicken pot pie.
Yeah. There's just so many recipes and stuff that we could do something with, but they don't. So yeah, it's like my biggest thing I want to see is a full on revamping of the of the system, of the saturation system. Because I'm sorry, golden carrots, yeah, I could see that being something that has a high saturation because again, you're mixing ingredients and they're and especially with the gold, very valuable ingredients. But like the steak, why does the steak have such a high, all that is a piece of meat slapped onto, because then if you're just
Mm-hmm.
going with that, then the pork and the chicken should have the same value.
Right.
The mutton, pork, and chicken should have
Mm-hmm.
the same value as the beef. But
Yeah.
but they don't. And yet, the beef has better saturation value than other recipes that involve more ingredients.
Yeah.
And also if we could like bottle up stuff like milk, be able to put milk in a bottle instead of having to carry around a
Mm-hmm.
bucket of milk, you can carry around a bottle of milk to drink.
Oh, there's one thing that I want them to do with food is berries.
Yeah.
They need another purpose cuz like I mean sure you can eat them but they don't give you that much hunger. Like sure it's like an early food and it's easy to get, but it's still limited. Like it'd be cool if we could make jam at least, you
Yeah.
know? And that gives just a couple more hunger bars. You know, it could be a bottle with some it'd be like a honey bottle,
Yeah.
but berries instead.
Yeah, you could
I
do
feel like
like
that would give a bit more of a purpose.
yeah, you could do, or which then if you can be able to make jam out of it, hell, it'd be cool to be able to do things like, uh, make sandwiches.
Which I did think would be cool. Like, of
Uh,
course, Minecraft wants to stay original and not make things too complicated.
but
But
that's
I
not
still
really,
think sandwiches could be cool.
yeah, and they don't have to be complicated. It's just a piece of bread and an ingredient of some sort. You could have a veggie
hmm
sandwich. You could have a meat sandwich of some sort. You could have a sweet sandwich
And
with
they wouldn't have to be like retextured for each meat. It would just be put any meat plus 2 slices of bread and you get a meat sandwich.
yeah,
Any meat plus 2 slices of any like vegetable, which there's only like potatoes and carrots and beets, but that will give another option for beets then as well.
yeah. And
And it
maybe
still wouldn't
the
be
vegetable
complicated.
sandwiches don't give quite as a high saturation as as the meat ones do, but hey, it's still something different. And if it's what you got on
hmm
hand,
hmm
it's like it's not complicated, to just make use of the ingredients we already have and give them more uses.
hmm
I mean, beets, again, they could be another sugar source. I
hmm
mean, they now also have it where you can like turn honey bottles into sugar, and you get 3 piles of sugar
Can you do
for.
that?
Yeah, yeah. You can put
I
honey
didn't know
balls.
that.
Yeah, you put honey balls. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize the stuff you can do with honey. Um, one of the things is that honey can also do like milk does. You can use
It
it to.
it does?
Yeah, you can suck down a bottle of honey and negate bad effects, just like you can with milk.
I didn't.
And instead of carrying a bucket of milk, you can carry 16 bottles of honey.
Oh my god! I didn't even know this.
Yeah.
What is it? One thing I recently learned was the whole banner thing with maps, where you can use them as like waypoints or
Yeah.
markers.
Yeah, there's
I
a
was
whole
never aware of that.
yeah, it's a lot of things that people, don't know because again, Minecraft doesn't really have a like uh a tutorial system. So,
Mm-hmm.
you're just gonna have to discover a lot of this stuff. But yet there's things that people just don't even try. They're talking about like, oh, they want to keep it simple and blah 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 blah, and yet they don't give us enough to even work with to make it worth even trying. So nobody tries anything new.
Right.
Like a lot of people don't realize that you can turn honey into sugar, and it actually gives you 3 piles per bottle of honey, which is basically way more efficient than
Then sugar
sugarcane.
cane.
Sugarcane's basically better as making
Paper.
paper with. So my thought is, well, hey, if we're doing that and we got the honey that we can make sugar out of, or even if we are able to like make sugar out of like beets or something, then why not have those as our sources of sugar, give better uses for those kind of things, and just turn sugarcane into like reeds, just call it reeds, and we can make paper out of it. It's pretty much the only thing people really use it for. But yeah, it's like if given a chance for things, I really, really, really would love to see a revamping of the system
Food.
for food. And a lot of people are like,
That'd be cool.
"Oh, well, you could always get these mods," and I'm like, "That's not the point."
Like that's the thing. Like it's mods. It's not like vanilla, and it's not keeping it.
Yeah,
Like like it's easier if it's just accessible without having to like install this stuff to do it.
yeah, and let alone
Like
like
mods are
when
fun,
yeah, they're
but
fun,
it's a
but then
process.
yeah, and then when they do an update to a game, or what if they stop
Right. They have
updating
to
the
get new
mod?
mods. and like stuff stops working, and it's such a hassle. Like it'd just be nice if it was a part of the game.
And let alone most people when they're doing like the food mods and stuff, they add a ton of crops.
Right? It's so much stuff to. It's overwhelming.
Yeah. They'll add a whole bunch of crops and a ton of recipes, many of which don't even make sense, and a lot of
Like
which end up doing these really crazy things that are beyond just what Minecraft food is meant to do, which is satiate hunger.
hmm Like we're just asking for a couple more recipes just to make the game interesting, but then they add so much.
Yeah. It's like when they
It's
added
like
the
you like
beets, every
yeah.
time they add a new ingredient, I'm like, that's nice, but can we just do more with the ingredients we have? Now, one of the things I would love to see would be to make teas. It's like we can make the suspicious stews. How about being able to say mix a flour with water and make ourselves a tea, and they can do the exact
Yeah.
same things that the soups do.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
That would be really cool.
or
A thirst bar was always I thought a thing would be cool. It wouldn't I don't know if it would always make sense. It would make the game a lot more it'd make it a lot harder. Maybe it could be like a
yeah.
toggleable thing for your
Yeah, no,
world.
I
But
would skip a thirst bar. I mean, I know
yeah.
a lot of games that
Or
add
maybe it
that.
wasn't like maybe it wouldn't be critical. Like it's almost like an option. Maybe like it gives you an advantage, but there's
Hmm.
no disadvantage per se. Like you're not gonna you can gain stuff it, but you're not gonna lose stuff from it.
Hmm.
Like maybe it's if you have a full thirst bar, it slows down the rate at for your hunger. Like you don't lose hunger as quickly if you have a full thirst bar or something.
Yeah,
And if you don't have a full thirst bar, it just acts as the normal hunger bar.
yeah.
So there's
So
nothing you can gain stuff from having it full, but if you don't have it, it's just like normal Minecraft.
yeah, it's like yeah, no, having yeah, like a thirst bar that's basically just like, okay, if you have a full thirst bar, it will mean that you're not going, it'll increase your satiation amounts or something.
hmm But if you don't have it, there's nothing. You don't lose anything.
Yeah,
Because with most games, it's always like, oh, you don't have a full thirst bar. It's like another hunger bar. You start losing health or something,
yeah. Well, I
which
mean,
just makes the game so much more. It makes it more. It makes it. It's very. It's just you struggle more because
yeah, it
it's
makes
another
it.
thing you have to worry about.
Yeah, it's like it's one of the things I do love with Don't Starve is you know, stuff. But when they added their basically their moisture bar thing, it just makes the game so much harder. Um,
hmm
because now you got to worry about whether or not you're too wet, are you too cold, are you too, and it's like, yeah, no, in some ways that's more realistic,
hmm
but it's also just sort of a pain in the ass.
Right.
Because it just adds so much extra stuff and layers and whatnot that's just like,
hmm
do we really need this? Is this actually necessary? Does this add enjoyment to the game? While I'm just sitting here going like, taking the recipe, taking the stuff we already have and just adding a few new variations would. Being able to mix together a few different vegetables and coming up with a vegetable stew or a beef stew by throwing in a piece of beef, you know?
hmm Yeah.
It gives more you can do with the ingredients you have. And I would think that being able to put more ingredients into something would make it better versus like, having fewer ingredients in something should mean it shouldn't work as well. Again, that whole complaint I have with beef. I have a beef with beef. Yeah, somewhat. But yeah, because it really is just a thing of like, do we really
hmm
need
Right.
20 more ingredients that only do one thing each.
Hmm.
Because, I know with the upcoming update, one of the things that they're adding is going to be a new food.
Oh,
There's
they
going to
are?
be glowberries, which act as a light source, but are also a food.
What's the.
You'll be finding them in caves. They grow on vines.
Okay, but what's the point?
Yeah.
You have a. I'm confused. We have a food that glows?
Uh-huh.
Minecraft, you need to start making sense, please. This. Why do we need this?
Yeah, I know, because it's just going to be another berry, and I'm like, are they going to do anything with it? Is it going to be something like, oh, if we mix glowberries with sweet berries, we can make something cool? No, they're probably not going to give us a recipe. It's just going to be glowberries. And look, they're a light source in a
And
cave
they
when
do
they're still on the
and they give the
berry
exact
bush.
same hunger. They
Yeah,
replenish the same amount of hunger. But
yeah,
I mean, I get in a sense it makes sense because like, hey, now we have food in a cave, so we while we're mining, we're always gonna have access to food no matter where
uh-huh,
we're at.
yeah. But then if they're
I
glowberries,
mean,
they're
if
probably
that's what
going to
they're
have the
going for, then
same
it makes
kind of
sense.
satiation that regular berries do, the sweet berries. So you do better off with cookies.
Hmm?
It's like they're not going to last long at all.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's like me, I go around and I purposely keep a variety of things on me. When I'm running about, I'm
Hmm.
not just using just gold carrots. I'm like, geez, if I was just eating golden carrots all the time, I'd get so bored with that.
Hmm.
But I just see so many other people are like, yes, my food of choice is this particular thing, and that's all I eat. And I'm like, doesn't that get boring? So
How
aside
long
from,
have you been playing Minecraft?
huh,
Huh?
me? How long have I been
Yeah.
playing?
Yeah.
I've actually been playing on and off since beta.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I actually,
That's impressive.
yeah, hell, if anything, I think maybe just, I'm not sure if it was called beta at the time, but anyway, when it was still on a web browser.
You should be on a web browser?
Yeah, yeah. When he was developing the game, it was you got into it by going onto the Minecraft web page and then accessed it through the browser.
Oh. So I'm guessing that's so because I've gone back and like loaded up some of like some of the first versions of Minecraft when it was like first being created. And it
Uh-huh.
was basically just like flat grass and you could like break the grass and place cobblestone. That was it.
Yep,
Was
that was
that the web browser?
yep.
That makes sense. It does look like it would be a web browser game.
Mhm.
I had no idea. That's so
Yes.
cool.
Yeah, that's back when he was still just developing it and whatnot. And then very quickly he ended up creating the client um, that gave us the basically the Minecraft we all know. Um,
Hmm.
and they started adding, new sounds, new things. There was stuff that got added early on that got taken away. Basically, especially early on, you couldn't even save your game. So it was just literally playing the game was like playing on snapshots. You never knew how long your game was going to
Oh.
last.
Oh.
And then, oh, and then I ended up having some things end up happening with my computer, and I didn't play for a little while, and then they, and I mean, I played a little bit on and off for a bit when I could, but the game was quickly outstripping what my computers could handle at the time, and then they brought it out on PlayStation 3.
Oh.
I know I think it was either PS2 or PS3.
Hmm.
No, it's 4. Yeah, it was on PS3. Uh, and when they brought it out on the PlayStation, I was like, "Oh, Minecraft!" So I nabbed it up and started playing. Um, and then as I was playing on that, Spider was watching me play, and she ended up getting sucked into it, and then we just kept playing together. We had worlds that we worked on for years together on PlayStation.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, and then I got my new computer, my nice new lovely laptop, and went, I can play Minecraft. And so immediately got Minecraft for my computer. Because I mean, I have it already, so I just downloaded it onto my computer. But unfortunately, because of timing stuff, I missed being able to also get the Bedrock for free. So I'll have to pay extra to get Bedrock on my computer at some point. But at the same time, I don't mind playing the Java on computer and have my Bedrock on my consoles. Though it does make things interesting because there are so many differences between Bedrock and Java. Most of them are like little things, but it's still just enough that makes me go, okay. Like Bedrock, you can you can use leads on boats.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
I know there are. I'm aware of some things that are only on Bedrock that are not on Java.
Uh-huh.
Leads on boats was not one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like one of those things a lot of people don't actually realize. I mean, the first time I actually used a lead on my boat in Bedrock, I was like, "Oh, I have discovered a new thing."
Oh, now that you bring up, sorry, I'm cutting
no.
off. You can continue.
No. Yes, no. What were you gonna say?
Now that you bring up Bedrock features compared to Java features, there is something I remember getting to talk about that I feel like that I would like to be added to Java Edition as an update. Would be the Bedrock dyeing system for like leather and stuff.
Oh God, yes, that is my favorite thing.
Because it makes sense.
And on top of that, because the thing is that basically what you do is you dye the water in the cauldron, and then you just dip your leather into that, and that will give it its color. But the great thing is too is if you have another cauldron with clean water in it, you can just dip your dyed leather in it and rip the color off.
Exactly, and you could use one piece of dye to dye like 3 items versus having to go through one dye per item.
Yeah, you could dye multiple items with the same cauldron, and you can also
you can mix up the colors.
Yeah, you can do some color mixing in the cauldron, and it also just looks pretty. I love
it. Does.
Yeah, I would just sit out cauldrons in areas and like half bury them or something like that and stuff, just to add splashes of colored water in places. It's just really cool.
Another thing that would be cool if they added, I'm pretty sure this is a Bedrock feature. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they did get added to Java, but it would be cool. I'm pretty sure you can pour potions into cauldrons on Bedrock Edition.
I don't know if you could do potions.
Because I remember finding I think I do. I remember finding a witch hut, and the cauldrons would be filled with potions, and you could like scoop up the potion then.
I don't remember that myself.
If this was a thing, it would just make, I guess, storing potions easier because you could store like 3 bottles in a single block.
Yeah.
I just think it would be cool, at least for like cosmetic reasons as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know you can get milk in a cauldron. In Bedrock, I don't think you can do that in Java.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, there's lots of little things that you can do. I mean, one of the things I'm still trying to get used to is the difference between how Rails work, between Rails and Bedrock, Rails and Redstone work between Bedrock and Java. Because it's like I have a hard
Mhm.
enough time with Redstone already, and the differences between Java and Bedrock just totally throw me off.
Mhm.
Because like I'm used to how it works in Bedrock, and I'm also used to how
Mhm.
carts work because they tend to go a lot faster in Bedrock. While
Mhm.
in Java they're really kind of slow.
Mhm. Oh, speaking of minecarts, I ended up learning something. You can apparently I didn't realize, but you can put boats in minecarts.
Yeah,
Oh, never
both.
mind then.
No, it's a cool thing, but again, it's one of those things that a lot of people don't think about, and you don't like go like, well,
Mhm.
how is that useful? I mean, one of the things that most everybody always keeps
It's
forgetting, they're always
powerless. You don't need powered rails.
yeah, you don't need power rails. You can you can do rails with with like the furnace and use that to push things around.
I remember having to use the furnace because we didn't have like powered rails. I'm pretty sure.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no,
Or
the
was
the
that?
furnace was an early thing, but most people have forgotten it existed.
Yeah, it doesn't have. I mean, except for I guess like yeah, it doesn't have a purpose at all now.
Yeah, no, not really.
I mean, it's
But
just like I mean, it's a cheaper version than powered rails, but it's unless you got like a lot of fuel on hand,
uh-huh.
it's it's limited. It's yeah.
I mean, it can still be useful. I know me and Spider use it for when we need to move around villagers.
Oh, oh, that
Um,
actually yeah, that
because it's
makes more sense.
cheaper.
That's the only time I've ever seen it used
Yeah,
because you don't have to like keep breaking and replacing all the powered rails with
yeah.
like remembering to power them.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you don't have to, and like especially if you're going really long distances, then all you have to do is just throw down, a track, which is a hell of a lot cheaper, especially if you're early game and you don't have a lot of redstone and stuff. Just toss down a track
Good.
and then just have you can have a whole trail of villagers with a furnace and a minecart behind just going along. And if you got a minecart you can put yourself in, you can just go along with.
Right.
But yeah, it's like the differences, and stuff. Because like on Bedrock, I have a particular little ride I love making, that I call I call a scrambler, because the tracks are just set up so that they just go curly Q willy nilly all over the place. Because one of the things as well in Bedrock is that if you got minecart, you got tracks going with like a back and forth, with a curve. You can go at a diagonal for a really long period. As long as you'd already gotten some power to it, the minecart will just keep going,
Mhm.
for long as there's a back and forth. It just keeps its momentum. But I notice here it'll slow down and eventually stop, even if it's on a curve. Right, so that was my build and chatter with Lacey. If you liked it, give a like and subscribe. And hey, if you really liked it, let me know. And I could do a few more of these, maybe with some of the other CCs and NCCs of the group. Kind of a little get to know everybody. And, as it is, I should get going. So be well, stay safe, and let's end this on a high note.